Long ago, in the ancient land of Egypt, a story of hope was about to unfold. For 400 long years, God's people, the Israelites, suffered as slaves, their backs breaking under the cruel hand of Pharaoh. Their cries for freedom seemed to vanish into the desert air, but God had not forgotten them. He was about to raise up a leader, a man named Moses, to perform one of the greatest miracles ever told. This is the story of faith, freedom, and the mighty hand of God, the miracle at the Red Sea. It all began after 10 terrifying plagues had shaken the mighty empire of Egypt to its core. From rivers turning to blood to a darkness so thick it could be felt, each plague was a direct challenge to Pharaoh's power. The final, devastating plague, the death of every firstborn son in Egypt, finally shattered his stubborn will. In the dead of night, a grief-stricken Pharaoh cried out, "Go! Take your people and worship your God." And just like that, the Exodus began. Over 1 million Israelites, men, women, and children, walked out of the land of their bondage. They carried with them unleavened bread, hastily prepared for their journey, and the gold and silver the Egyptians had given them, a small payment for centuries of forced labor. But more importantly, they carried a fragile, flickering flame of hope. Leading this vast multitude was Moses, his hand firmly gripping the staff God had given him, and they were not alone. A magnificent pillar of cloud guided them by day, and a pillar of fire illuminated their path by night. It was a constant, visible reminder that God Himself was with them, leading them toward a promised land. Standing before His people, Moses' voice rang with unshakable faith, "Fear not. The Lord goes before us. He will lead us into freedom." But freedom would not come so easily. Back in his palace, Pharaoh's grief quickly turned to rage. The moment he heard the Israelites were truly gone, he roared, "What have we done? We have let our slaves go." His pride wounded and his workforce gone, Pharaoh's heart hardened like stone. He summoned his entire military might, 600 of his finest chariots, his most skilled horsemen, and his fiercest soldiers. The ground itself seemed to tremble as Egypt's powerful army thundered across the desert in pursuit. After them, an Egyptian commander bellowed, "Do not let them escape." Meanwhile, the Israelites had made camp near the shores of the Red Sea. As they rested, a cloud of dust appeared on the horizon, growing larger and larger. A murmur of fear rippled through the camp, quickly turning into a wave of panic. Pharaoh's army was closing in, a terrifying spectacle of flashing bronze and thundering hooves. The people turned on Moses, their hope curdling into despair. "Moses, why did you bring us here to die?" One cried out. Another wailed, "Were there no graves in Egypt? It would have been better to serve Pharaoh than to die in this desolate wilderness." They were trapped. Before them lay the vast, churning expanse of the Red Sea, deep, wide, and utterly impossible to cross. Behind them, the deadliest army in the world was bearing down, intent on their destruction. Hemmed in by fear and despair, the people trembled. But Moses, steadfast in his faith, did not panic. He lifted his hands and his voice to the heavens, crying out to God for deliverance. And in that desperate moment, the Lord answered. A voice, deep and powerful as the ocean itself, spoke to Moses, "Why do you cry to me? Tell the children of Israel to move forward. Lift up your staff, stretch out your hand over the sea and divide it." As Moses obeyed, a powerful wind began to howl from the east, a gale so strong it pushed against the very fabric of the sea. All through the night, the wind roared. Miraculously, the waters began to tremble and part. They rose up, forming to towering walls of water, one on the right and one on the left. Between them, the seabed became solid, dry land. With hearts pounding in a mixture of terror and awe, the Israelites began their impossible journey. They walked on the floor of the sea, with walls of water suspended on either side. Children clung to their mothers, their eyes wide with wonder. The elderly leaned on their staffs, finding strength they didn't know they had. Not a single person faltered, not one was lost to the sea. They were walking through a miracle. Pharaoh's army, seeing the incredible path through the water, didn't hesitate. Blinded by their arrogance, they charged into the sea corridor after the fleeing Israelites. The thunder of their chariot wheels and the pounding hooves of their horses echoed eerily between the liquid walls. "Drive faster," shouted their commanders. "We will crush them before dawn," but their arrogance was their undoing. From the pillar of fire and cloud, God looked down upon the Egyptian army and threw them into chaos. The wheels of their heavy chariots became clogged with mud, jamming in the seabed. Their powerful horses stumbled and panicked. The soldiers, once so confident, were now filled with terror. "Let us flee," they screamed. "The Lord is fighting for Israel against us." Just as the last Israelite stepped safely onto the far shore, God spoke to Moses once more. "Stretch out your hand over the sea, that the waters may return upon the Egyptians, upon their chariots, and upon their horsemen." Moses raised his hand. As the first light of dawn broke across the horizon, the Red Sea roared back to life. The towering walls of water collapsed, crashing down with immense force, swallowing Pharaoh's chariots, his horses, and his entire army. Not a single soldier survived. On the other side, the Israelites turned and watched. Their enemies, who had tormented them for generations, were gone forever, washed away by the mighty hand of God. A hushed silence fell over the crowd, quickly replaced by an eruption of joyous praise. Moses and his sister, Miriam, began to sing, and soon 1,000,000 voices joined them. "I will sing to the Lord, for he has triumphed gloriously. The horse and its rider he has thrown into the sea." They danced, they sang, they worshiped the God who had not only delivered them from slavery, but had shown them his incredible power to save. From that day forward, the Israelites would never forget. The crossing of the Red Sea would forever stand as a powerful testimony that no army, no king, and no power on earth can stand against the plan of God. As it is written in Exodus 14:14, "The Lord will fight for you, and you have only to be still." What part of this story inspires you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if this story moved you, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more incredible stories of faith. Thank you for watching.